Today we're going to talk about virtues and relationships. We are all searching for happiness. According to the ancient saints, the key to happiness is to cultivate virtues and build harmonious relationships. So today we're going to talk about 5 social relationships, 5 ethic standards, and 8 virtues. Let's start with the 5 social relationships. Number 1, parent and child. The parents should be loving and the children should be respectful. Parents give us lives and raise us up. This kind of unconditional love and kindness is priceless. So this is the most valuable relationship. In the olden day, there was a Mr. Yang. He was a devoted Buddhist. One day, he decided to leave home and go look for this Zen master far away. So he walked for days, and on the way, he met a monk. The monk asked, "Where are you going?" He said, "I'm trying to find this well-known Zen master." He said, "Oh, why don't you go find Buddha instead?" He said, "Where do I find Buddha?" He says, "Oh, easy. You just turn back toward your home. If you see someone wearing a yellow robe and having their slippers on the wrong feet, that person is Buddha." So this person walked back, and for days he didn't find anyone that meets the description. Finally, he reached home. He knocked on the door, and his mother came out. And much to his surprise, his mother was wearing a yellow robe and having her slippers on the wrong feet. So who is Buddha? Buddha is your mother. So if you're a Buddhist, you should be filial and loving to your parents. If you can't even love and respect your parents, then no matter how many Amitofo you chant, it's not going to work because you don't have the heart of the Buddha. Number 2 is siblings. The younger sibling should respect the older sibling, and the older sibling should be gentle and caring to the younger sibling. The siblings are like branches on the same tree. If we fight with each other, it's like rotting the root and killing the tree slowly. We should be loving to our siblings. 100 years ago, there was a 15-year-old girl named Hazel Miner. On March 15, 1920, she drove her younger brother and sister to school as usual in a carriage. By noontime, because of the huge blizzard, their carriage tipped over and they were stranded. Hazel was soaking wet, but she didn't care for herself. She found 2 blankets and a rope. She wrapped them around her brothers and sisters, and she also opened her own coat and spread it around her brother and sister, trying to keep them warm. She also kept telling them stories and sing songs and prayers, hoping to make them stay awake. 25 hours later, the villagers finally found them. By this time, Hazel, she froze to death and saved her brother and sister. Hazel's monument is still in the Oliver County Courthouse in North Dakota. Hazel can sacrifice her life for her siblings. How can we fight with our siblings for little things? Number 3 is husband and wife. This is the most important relationship. If this one is harmonious, then all other relationships will be harmonious as well. There were 2 couples. They lived across the street from each other. Couple A fight every other day. Couple B never fought. So finally one day, the couple A's wife went to couple B's wife and asked, "What is your secret? How come we're always fighting and you guys never fight?" Couple B wife said, "Oh, it's easy because everybody in your family is good people. Everybody in my family is bad people." The couple A wife said, "Oh, that doesn't make any sense." Couple B's wife said, "Whenever something go wrong in your family, because everybody insists on being right and good people, so nobody admit their fault, so you guys will be arguing and fighting. But in my family, when something goes wrong, we will admit our fault and apologize and change our ways. That's why in my family, we never fight." So in order to have a good marriage relationship, we should be apologetic and we should always be respectful toward our spouse. Number 4 is rulers and subjects. This applies to employers and employees. According to Mencius, if the ruler treats the subject like brothers, then the subject will treat the ruler like a best friend. If the ruler treats the subject like dog and horses, then the subject will treat the ruler like a stranger. If the ruler treats the subjects like machines, then the subject will treat the ruler like an enemy. So how you treat others is how others will treat you. The relationship is reciprocal. Number 5 is between friends. Friends have 5 duties to each other. Number 1, we have to give sound, virtuous advice so our friend doesn't go down the wrong path. Number 2, we should be caring. When they're going through difficult time, we should be there to comfort them. Number 3, we should praise them. When they're doing good deeds, we should praise them and encourage them to succeed in their endeavors. Number 4, we should keep secrets. When they tell us their family secrets, we cannot disclose it to anyone else. Number 5, we should give financial support. When they're in a sudden financial crisis, we need to help them in any way we can. So these are the 5 social relationships that we all have. In order for these 5 social relationships to be harmonious, we need to have the 5 ethic standards. Number 1 is loving kindness. Loving kindness is a root to all virtues. In Chinese, it's a symbol of wisdom. On the left side is human, on the right side it means the number 2. So 2 people stack up together, that means the relationship is very thick. We're always thinking for the other person and we're not being selfish. Number 2 is duties. We must follow our duties and play our role. If you're a father, be a good father. If you're a son, be a good son. If you're a wife, be a good wife. When you perform your duties, then the relationship will be in harmony. That way you can be a role model to all people and other people will follow your footsteps. Number 3 is respect. Respect is the beauty in all relationships. If you want the relationship to be beautiful, you need to keep a distance and show respect. Don't be careless because you're too close and you say things that are rude to each other. So always have respect, especially between husband and wife. Number 4 is wisdom. In order to have wisdom, we must first learn education on virtues. In school, we only learn about knowledge on how to obtain a career, but we don't learn about morals and ethics. So now we need to learn about virtues and apply the virtues to all different kinds of relationships. That is wisdom. Number 5 is trustworthiness. We have to be the person that everybody can count on. They can trust you whenever they're in need to help them. So these 5 ethic standards, if you expand them, they become 8 virtues. Number 1, filial piety. This is specific to parent and child. This word is also a symbol of wisdom. On the top, it means old. On the bottom, it means son. So the older generation on top of the younger generation together as one. So we should not have any generation gap. If we have love and respect in our heart, there is no problem and no conflict in the family. Number 2, we have to be respectful to elderlies. This is between siblings. We need to respect our older siblings and respect them like they're our parents. And you can show respect in many ways. For example, when you're eating, drinking, walking, sitting, you always let the elderlies go first to show your respect. Number 3, we need to have loyalty. Loyalty is between ruler and subject. But it also applies to many different relationships. For example, you and Buddha. You need to be loyal to Buddha. That means always follow his teaching. Don't be an eye servant, only good when someone's watching you. Number 4 is trustworthiness. That applies to friends. You want to be the trustworthy person that everybody can count on. You cannot make any empty promises. If you said it, you have to do it. You have to be a credible person and be trustworthy. Number 5, we have to show respect. The best way is to treat each other like VIPs, especially husband and wife. If you treat each other with respect, then nothing will go wrong. This is well tested in 5,000 years of history. So show each other respect in all relationships. Number 6 is duties. We need to perform our duties in all 5 relationships, especially the first one, parent and child. We have the responsibility to take care of our parents when they're old and sick. We cannot just send them to senior homes because it is our duty to take care of them. Number 7 is to have honor. This applies to rulers and subjects. Especially you're the subject, you cannot take any briberies. You have to be loyal and honest. In the Han Dynasty, there was a Mr. Yang. He was being promoted to a very high government official position. So on the way to see the emperor, he passed by the city. The magistrate of the city, Mr. Wang, tried to bribe Mr. Yang. So in the middle of the night, he took out 10 kilograms of gold and tried to give to Mr. Yang. And when he offered it to Mr. Yan said, I cannot take this. Mr. Wang said, oh, it's middle of the night, it's so dark, nobody will know, just take it. And Mr. Yan said, God knows, earth knows, you know, I know. How can you say nobody knows? So we need to be a man of honor and never take briberies. Number 8 is shame. We need to feel ashamed when we are not behaving according to our virtues. We all have the virtues inside of us. Sometimes we cannot do it. We should feel ashamed. Mencius says shame is the greatest and the most important word in a person's lifetime. Because when we feel remorse and ashamed, we will put in our best effort to change our ways and correct our faults and reach sagehood. So these are the 5 social relationships, 5 ethic standards, and 8 virtues. If you follow this, you will have harmonious relationship and you will be truly happy. We all say we want to reach Buddhahood, but in order to be a Buddha, first we need to be a virtuous person. If we're not virtuous and we learn all the Buddhism and all the philosophy, it's not going to help you because it's meaningless when you don't apply it. Use Buddhism and Confucianism in your own life and solve all your relationship problems, and that way you will gain true happiness. So that's a class for today. Thank you for listening. 阿弥陀佛。